the universe. The next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. My name is Erik Nagel. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's Erik Nagel. Follow all of those things, and you can follow E-Rock Radio on Instagram. But what's more important is that we are on the floor of San Diego Comic-Con 2015. You can hear the cheers and the excitement in the back. We're broadcasting from the NECA Toy Pavilion on the floor of San Diego Comic-Con, so we got to thank those guys right off the bat. Thank you so much for letting us use the space here. The space on the floor at San Diego Comic-Con is very valuable. People pay through the nose just for a tiny booth, and then you get these big companies that buy what they call city blocks or convention blocks. They're these huge pavilions, huge like pull-ups and displays and toy figures and fixtures and statues and paintings, and it's crazy shit. Right next to us we're on top of NECA Toys. NECAOnline.com is a plug. You should check everything out there. We're going to talk to Randy a little bit later in the show. But next to me here, I can see Hasbro Toys has a huge thing. Toynami, Mattel's right next to us. Lego, McFarlane Toys. Down the aisle there a bit, I see big Funko thing at the end. Like, everybody's here representing, showing all the new stuff, all the exclusives that they have for the con that people go nuts for. People are trying to just stand on lines waiting hours to get these things here. In fact, on preview night, which is Wednesday night, apparently over at the Hasbro exhibit there, people were getting robbed, beat up, and stuff was getting stolen. It was a huge ordeal, and I happened to be on the other side of the con when this was going on. But then after I left, there's articles online. You can check it out for yourself. People are just beating each other up to get these exclusive toys, limited edition stuff. It's insane. So if you think, all this nerdy geek culture stuff is like, oh, who gives a fuck? Well, apparently it's a big deal because a lot of people buy these exclusives and then they go and flip it for an enormous amount of money, either at their own local stores or on eBay or whatever. Or some people are just really into what they collect and will do anything possible to get their hands on what they want. Anyway, so we are on the floor of San Diego Comic-Con 2015. Let me give you a little bit of a rundown as to what is coming up on the program tonight. We're going to talk to the cast and crew of Doctor Who. I could just end the show there for myself, but the rest of you may love Doctor Who, some of you may not like Doctor Who, some of you have no idea who Doctor Who is. This one's a biggie for me. With Doctor Who, we're going to talk to Michelle Gomez, Jenna Coleman, showrunner Steven Moffat, and the Doctor himself, Peter Capaldi. We'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to talk to Ron Perlman a little bit later in the program. He has a brand new show coming to Amazon Instant Video called Hand of God. Director John Schnepp and Holly Payne, the producer, they're behind the movie The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. It's a niche documentary about back in the late 90s. There's supposed to be a new Superman movie called Superman Lives starring Nicolas Cage as Superman. All this guff, all this negativity around it. Nobody liked the outfit. Nobody liked Nicolas Cage being Superman. Kevin Smith was attached to it at one point, writing the script. Tim Burton was directing everything. And then all of a sudden, it just disappeared. And John wanted to know what the hell happened. So he went out and started a Kickstarter fund, got the money, made the movie. It's coming out. You're definitely going to want to check this out if you're into any of that stuff. Another director, Bird McDonald, did a movie called Vintage Tomorrows. It's about the rise of steampunk in culture today, the interest, what it's all about, why people care about this thing. We'll talk to him a little bit. We'll talk to our friends at Loot Crate, who are also sponsoring today's show, which we do have to thank them so much for that. We'll go over to The Nerdist. We say hi to the people over at The Nerdist. They're actually putting out a movie called The Hive, a brand new horror movie, and we'll talk to the cast and crew of that. Also later in the show, NBA superstar Dwight Howard will be on the program. How did that come about? Simple. I ran into him on the floor here at Comic-Con. He's having a good time. He's buying stuff. He's taking photos. So I said, can we talk to you for a little bit? And he agreed to. So we're going to sit down and talk about his Comic-Con experience and so much more. So let's just start the show right now. First, we're going to go to the biggie, Doctor Who. BBC America here in the United States, and maybe in Canada. I don't know what they have up there. BBC Canada, probably. For Doctor Who, Season 9 comes back in the fall. Everyone's excited. It's the 12th Doctor, starring Peter Capaldi. Whole bunch of crazy shit's going on in this next season. This is a rare opportunity because they don't do many interviews in the United States, and we were granted one of those interviews. So let's go over to the BBC America press room and talk to the cast of Doctor Who. big Doctor Who event here at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm here with Michelle Gomez, and she just told me how SiriusXM saved her life. How is that?
I am a transplant living in Brooklyn, in New York, and I've always been a fan of radio, and I've struggled to find my radio station and find my music, and it's difficult to listen to radio in America and difficult to watch television in America because there's just so many commercials. So when I fell upon SiriusXM, I can now, just have my music streamed without having to listen to somebody else's opinions, and I love it.
What are some of your favorite channels?
I'm kind of stick to more of the kind of like soul and groove, and a little bit of like nostalgia as well with some jazz, and it's kind of.
Well, we do have all of that. No, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Michelle Gomez, for those who don't know, was introduced to the Doctor Who world in season 8 as Missy, but then it was revealed, it's no spoiler to anybody because that season's over, that you're the Master.
I am the Master, that's right, regardless of my gender, and it's a lot of fun being the most evil woman of the universe.
What does it feel like when, for years, everybody's been like, oh, the Doctor should change into a female, and they kind of answered it by having a Time Lord change into a female, but it wasn't the one they were expecting?
Yeah, they're very clever, these guys. That Mr. Steven Moffat is just a dastardly dog. He's a very clever man, and you're never going to get what you expect. And, the more you ask for something in Doctor Who, the more he'll run in the opposite direction. It's a surprise to everybody. It was a surprise to me and a delight, and that's still the door is still open, for perhaps maybe one day there being a female Doctor, but at the moment we have a magnificent Doctor in Peter Capaldi, and I'm enjoying ticking the female box for the Master.
Well, at the end of the last season, we saw you get vaporized, but now you're back for this season, and I guess the question is, you're wearing a bracelet, and it looks sort of like the one that, Captain Jax would wear for time travel. Is this the same bracelet? Did you get this somehow?
I can't talk about those specifics because I'm first and foremost a fan, and I want to just protect the level of anticipation for these questions. And there is a way that I came back. Yes.
Is it? Well, I guess I'm not going to get an answer to this either. But is it possible that you're not really the Master, even though you said so? You're impersonating.
I'm the Master.
Okay. So that is definite.
Absolutely.
Another question I had was in season 8, I don't know if it was just a matter of production as far as reusing scenery, but there is a particular scene where you're sitting in a chair looking over a courtyard, and I'll show it to you right here, and it also was used in an episode with Amy Pond. Is there a tie into that, or is it just a coincidence?
Oh, there's no coincidence. In Doctor Who, everything's connected, and that's what makes it really spooky in a way. Yes, there's connection yet to be revealed.
All right, last question, and I see you have to go here. So season 9, you're coming back in a big, big way here. What can we expect more from the Master?
The Master's actually come back. Missy's come back in a different dynamic. That's all I can say. There's something a little different about her this season. What I can say about the series is that there's a sort of grand electricity to it. It feels very charged. It's almost like that kind of energy you get in LA with the sort of tectonic plates going on. There's something definitely in the air. It's very adventurous.
Could it be like a Clara Sing where there's different versions of you all throughout time?
I don't know. You're going to have to see.
Missy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Joined now by the man who's made Doctor Who what it is today, Mr. Steven Moffat. I almost called you Dr. Steven Moffat.
Yeah. Technically I am. I have an honorary doctorate, so you'd have been correct.
Okay. Season 9 is coming back in the fall.
That's correct, yes.
Very exciting, a lot of good stuff, and going in every season seems to have a different direction as far as the Doctor always rediscovering himself, or actually, as progress has been going on, trying to enjoy his life more. And that seems to be some of the synopsis for season 9, that he's going out and trying to live life more rather than worry about everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, every year you have to treat the Doctor as a real character. You have to think of him. He's actually living that life in that police box. You always have to be able to answer the question, why does he do it? Is he looking for something? Is he entertaining himself? Is he running away from something? Is he running to something? You always have to have his story. You can't just assume that he knows he's in a TV series and has to turn up in a different time zone and fight a different monster every week. You actually have to have his story. And so, yes, this year it's very much the story of, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop worrying so much. I got a time machine and a best friend, and I am going to enjoy the hell out of that.
Now, going into season 9, Doctor Who received its biggest ratings ever with Peter Capaldi joining the cast here. Now, it's weird because when Tennant took over, it really brought Doctor Who worldwide acknowledgement, and with Matt Smith, it got it really big in America. Going from younger doctors to an older doctor, everyone thought would be kind of risky, but it seems to have paid off in stripes here.
Nothing that ever pays off isn't a risk. I mean, you have to take a risk to get a payoff. If playing it safe is the safest way to lose. Honestly, you you absolutely have to push the boat out. You absolutely have to be thinking, "Are we doing the right thing?" If you don't have butterflies in your stomach, you're not going to make the jump.
How hard is it to when you're going through the process of writing and creating building out the story arcs, where you see what the fans are putting out and the response that they're getting, and to not kind of cater to the fans, but to cater what's true to the story and what's true to the characters itself? How hard is that to walk that line, and where you might be doing something that the fans aren't going to like, but it seems later on they'll come around and go, okay, now I get it?
Well, first of all, and most of the fans, by the way, would completely agree with this, you can't make it to cater to the fans. You can't, because the audience of Doctor Who, I don't know, we estimated was about 77 million, of whom several thousand are diehard fans. I mean, the arithmetic is very much there. In my opinion, what the fans want more than anything is for Doctor Who to stay on the air and continue to be successful. That's what they want. So they know we have to play to the gallery, not just to them. At the same time, I'm a fan myself. I know what we all love. So it's not like we don't ever include special treats. You know, I always kind of think we're lobbing jokes over the heads of the audience to the fans at times, saying, "You'll get this. No one else will. This is just for us." So you know, it's fine. But you can't listen to the fans in that sense. Except, you know, sometimes fans make incredibly good points. So sometimes you do. There's no hard and fast rule.
With season 9, are some things going to be answered as far as maybe his hunt for Gallifrey, his tie-in with Day of the Doctor, maybe his tie-in with the Pompeii episode?
Some things will be answered. I mean, we are going to resolve the matter of his face. I've said that in advance. We actually are going to say he's going to try and figure out where he's seen that face before. But beyond that, you're on your own.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Doctor Who Season 9 returns in the fall. I'm here with Steven Moffat. Thank you so much, sir. It's been an honor.
Pleasure.
No, go ahead. Take your time. I'm here with Jenna Coleman. That's just Jenna Coleman now, right? Not Jenna Louise Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that became such a thing.
Probably for actors' rights or something, or getting paid or equity, something like that.
Oh, no, it's just because I only get called Jenna Louise when I'm in trouble, and people were calling me, and it was very odd to me.
So it's a mom thing.
It's all my mum's fault, yeah.
Jenna Louise, of course, is Clara, Doctor Who. Season 9 coming in the fall here. Everyone's very excited. The news from season 8 was that they didn't think you were returning, and then all of a sudden you decided to return here, which threw everyone off, and it was a good thing too, because usually when there's a new doctor, they write out that kind of handover, and then the companion leaves and a new companion comes in for a new doctor, but you're staying for the whole ride here with 2 different doctors.
Yeah.
Was this your decision? Did they beg you to come back, say, look, we have more for Clara, this is really going to work, or did you really love this so much that you wanted to stay?
Both. It was just a case of my contract was up. But there was more to do, and I only had 1 year with Peter, and we'd spent the series getting to a place where they knew each other, so it wasn't the right time in story terms to leave at all. And I adore and love working with Peter. I just have so much fun, and he challenges me and pushes me, and there was just more to do.
Now, the evolution of Clara, we'll say, when we met her towards the end of the 11th Doctor run with Matt Smith, we saw the important part of where it was leading up to, that you were always a part of the Doctor's history, and the conclusion as far as that, I guess, storyline goes with Day of the Doctor. Then, having Peter Capaldi come in, your relationship strained. It was almost like you didn't, not only did you know this man that you used to know, but you didn't want to be there anymore, but you started to gel as the season went on. Going into season 9, how is your relationship with the Doctor?
I think they've reached a place of understanding and kind of a place of peace, so it means instead of them looking into each other, they can both be united and look out towards adventure and run at it really fast and kind of chase adrenaline-fueled adventure with reckless abandon. So it's quite a different feel. We've described it as like the glory days of Clara and the Doctor, and it's all about living in the moment and having fun and enjoying yourself.
Is it a fair assessment where when you were introduced to the Doctor Who with the 11th Doctor, as that relationship was growing, it was almost like a boyfriend-girlfriend kind of thing, but then when Peter Capaldi came in, the relationship sort of became like father-daughter?
I think the thing about relationship with companion and doctor is it's never one thing. It's like millions of things, and I think there was definitely, it was leaning towards romantic tendencies with Matt's doctor, and I think she was falling in love with him, and vice versa, I think. Well, Steven says so. And I think in a way, you know, Clara as the school teaches Peter's doctor a lot of how to, you know, interact with humans, and all this, the relationships are always flipped on their head. So, you know, it is father-daughterly, but at the same time, she can be like the mother with the toddler as well. With him, they can be both friends on equal terms. It's a mixture of things. It's a mixed bag.
Not just for Doctor Who Season 9, what is Clara's role now in the new Lego Dimension?
She is in danger and she gets rescued.
Pretty simple.
Classic, yeah.
You also had a role in Captain America, the First Avenger there. Are you looking at maybe down the line when your time is done with Doctor Who to maybe doing more adventure stuff going into the Marvel Universe or the DC Universe?
For me, it's just about chasing cool scripts and good parts, and I don't know what's next. But I kind of don't really focus on that. I just focus more on what script lands on my desk and if I respond to it or not.
I just thought it'd be a lot of fun. Like, wow, I could become a superhero in a whole nother world. Thought that would be exciting.
Yeah, it's a great genre. Like, I've loved my time in Doctor Who, and I love the end product of watching those kind of films and Doctor Who, and the adventure and the imagination that it kind of that comes out of it. So I love that genre.
Final question for you. Now, with all the Doctor Who stuff that's going on, especially with it coming back in the fall, a 2-part episode, which, by the way, do you know if it runs together or is it week by week?
What, the end of this series, you mean?
No, the beginning of Season 9. It's a 2-part beginning.
Week by week, yeah.
All right, so they're not running back to back, but they're running week by week.
Yeah.
Jenna Louise, thank you. I keep calling Jenna Louise like you're in trouble. Jenna Coleman, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You too. Nice to meet you.
Doctor Who here at San Diego Comic-Con, and this is truly an honor. I'm speaking with Peter Capaldi.
Hello there, how are you doing?
How are you, sir? Season 9, everyone's excited. This is your first Comic-Con doing stuff with the Doctor. How does it feel to go through all of this?
It's really, really exciting. I mean, people keep saying to me, are you nervous? That's making me nervous now. People keep saying, are you nervous? Because obviously we're going to have to go into Hall H with many thousands of Doctor Who fans. But that's wonderful. It's a delight, the idea that we're going to see so many people who like the show. And I took a little walk last night, and I started to taste some of the carnival atmosphere and see people dressed up in the street as, you know, Spider-Man or Imperial Stormtroopers. And obviously a lot of people from the show who were fans of the show noticed me and started chatting to me, and I ended up being led down to the convention centre, and it was just lovely. There's such a warm, supportive atmosphere here, and it's great to be around.
There's also a lot of ridiculousness around this whole event.
But what a laugh, isn't it? What a laugh, what a gas, isn't it fantastic? I kept saying, because people were sort of saying, oh, you need security here and all that stuff. And I said, well, you know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We've got to go and do this. We've got to go and just meet the fans and see how they feel and see what that's like.
Did it ever come to mind to do what Matt Smith did one year, where he put the Homer Simpson mask and walked the floor and nobody knew it was him?
Well, I'm not finished yet. I may yet do that. I don't know what mask I might wear, but yeah, I might do that. Actually, it was very sweet. They showed us around the hall last night with all the merchandise, which I wanted to rifle through, but I couldn't do it. But it was absolutely empty. It was strange and eerie. You know, it was like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. But yeah, I don't know. I might do that. Who knows?
You know what? One of the biggest things being sold on the floor is your Funko Pop figure.
Funko Pop? So what's a Funko Pop figure? I don't know what that is.
It's a small little thing. They're kind of like really gigantic heads. Some are bobbleheads, some are just little figures.
Yes, no, I have seen that. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. That's funny. Yes, I have to approve those things. They bring them into my trailer and they say, "Do you approve of this?" And I say, "Yes, of course." Who is it? Who's that supposed to be? Oh, it's me. All right, okay. Where'd the grey hair come from?
And then you ask, "Can I get one of those?" And they charge you for it.
No, they go like, "No, I have no merchandise."
Season 9 comes this fall. Of course, you're returning as the Doctor. Lots going on involving Clara, yourself, the Master. In this season, are there any kind of hints or ties to your appearance in Day of the Doctor and the search for Gallifrey?
Yes.
That's all he can say.
Well, it's really hard. Right at this moment, I'm here at Comic-Con, but I'm actually in the middle of filming episode 11, which is part of the finale of this season. So I know stuff that is unfolding in episode 11, and I know certain things that are happening in episode 12. I don't know. I haven't read episode 12, so I don't know exactly what's going on there. But in answer to your question,
you'll have to wait and see.
You'll have to wait and see, really. I'll have to wait and see. True, I haven't read it.
Can you at least tell me what the Doctor's role is in Lego Dimensions?
He is the best character in it. That's what his role is. Yes, you can go on there with Batman and Gandalf and Wildstyle and go through various levels. And one of the levels you can go to is a Doctor Who level, which is very sophisticated. I was really knocked. I mean, I did the voice for it, but obviously the game wasn't in existence when I did the voice. But when I saw it yesterday, there's this huge kind of cinematic experience. And also they have this thing. They have all 12 Doctors, and you can, if you decide to play as, for instance, the first Doctor, the TARDIS changes to his TARDIS
to fit that time.
And the most amazing thing is it goes into monochrome for his.
So you're playing in black and white.
When you're inside his TARDIS, it's in black and white.
Very
tongue-in-cheek. And those Lego figures are so ironic. They're so. I mean, I think just by being a Lego figure, you're automatically funny. But they maintain the sort of, the guys who did the game are. They love Doctor Who so much, so their affection for it is so sincere. But what you get is that great wit, because they also know a good joke when they see it. But they also know a good monster, and they also know, that the TARDIS is fabulous, and the Doctor should go and rescue people, and there are great Daleks in it, and a Cyberman King and stuff. It's fantastic.
I love how passionate you are about it.
It's just a laugh. How great can it? What a fantastic position to be in at this age, to be showing all this stuff, to giving all these toys, that to be part of this empire of Doctor Who is a delight.
I'm running out of time with you, so my last question for you is taking over and getting this role of an iconic, which was a part of British history, now world history, being Doctor Who and taking the Doctor role, but coming off Malcolm Tucker from the thick of it, where most of America was recognizing you from because of Netflix. They were up on the Netflix there. How was the transition as far as in your head going from Malcolm Tucker to the Doctor?
Well, it was quite easy in some way, because in fact I think it'd be true to say that Malcolm is further away from me in real. He was more of a performance. Right. I'm less like him. I'm more like the Doctor than I am like Malcolm. So in a way, that when you play the Doctor, you sort of bring him close to you. That's what the whole gig is you bring him as close to yourself as possible. So it really was abandoning all the tropes of Malcolm, but which wasn't difficult, because it was a definite performance, and there were mechanical things that I employed in Malcolm that I wouldn't with the Doctor.
Did they ever ask you to Malcolm it up a little on the Doctor Who set?
I know, sometimes on bad days I sometimes do that automatically.
Peter Capaldi, Season 9 this fall for Doctor Who. Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
You're very welcome. It's lovely to talk to you.